Should I tell my wife I was approached for an affair? I, 30 meters, was recently approached at a mom's group for a discreet hookup. I'm the primary parent to our child and regularly attend a mom's group to give him a chance to socialize with other kids. During the meetup, several of the wives complained about recovery time due to delivery, and one jokingly said I must be missing the sex. Now granted, my wife had a rough recovery and has only just gotten to a place where we can be intimate again. I never minded the wait, it was for her health and our child. I knew this would happen and supported her the whole way. I told the group that it was fine and that we're happy with where we're at. Nothing more. No further details. After the meet was winding down, the women, 24, that made that joke, offered her number and told me she's happy to help me out. I declined both the number and the offer and told her I'm happy with my marriage. I've since distanced myself from her and the group. I've told everyone that it was just scheduling problems and I would need to look for other options. Should I tell my wife or just let this die? I don't want her to freak out thinking I'm looking to cheat or feel like she's not good enough, but I'm also worried that this is gonna be a bigger problem and I can't just step back from it. TLDR. I was recently approached at a mom's group for a discreet hookup. Turned her down and I'm wondering if I should forget it or tell my wife. Talk to your wife, tell her everything. The absolute last thing you ever want is for her to hear this from anyone else. You have nothing to hide, you took all the right steps, and if she trusts you, that will be enough. Honey, you know how I've distanced myself from the moms group. It's because I felt extremely uncomfortable when one of the moms decided to offer me a hookup. I told her no and that I'm happy, and I just want you to hear this from me, that I would never do that to you. Our family is too precious to me. Tell your wife so she can beat her up. I would automatically tell my wife because it's interesting and funny. Absolutely tell her everything. What benefit to your relationship would there be to hide this? I would talk to the wife about it and tell her everything. Because one day she may find out about this. And that day the situation would be that someone approached you for an affair and you hid it from your wife for months, maybe years. That will open up the can of why did Op hide it in the first place? What else is Op hiding? Did Op hide it because he actually took this woman up on her offer? And so on. It doesn't take much for trust to crumble. Better to stay 100% honest whenever possible. I would absolutely tell her because 1, you did nothing wrong, in fact you did the right thing, and 2, if you don't tell her and she finds out, this nothing will turn into a huge thing. Something similar happened with my husband and it truly was nothing, but he didn't tell me and I found out from co-workers and he felt terrible when he saw how hurt I was that he didn't just tell me, and it turned into something when it was nothing because of the omission of information. We are fine now and work through it because that was way back when we were dating. Keeping it a secret makes it a bigger issue than it is if your wife finds out. Tell her, just in case if that woman ever tries to tell your wife that you tried to come onto her. Might as well beat her to it. Honestly, I think it's best to tell your wife. This isn't a secret you want to keep. I mean, wouldn't you want to know if someone propositioned her this boldly? Also, I'm sure your wife trusts you. But things like this open communication doors, and you could share with your wife what you've shared here, which was lovely about your wife and your feelings about her and intimacy with her. And about her body. And also, she should know who isn't a friend of her marriage. We don't have any children. But I would absolutely want my husband to tell me if this happened. You don't have anything to hide. It may even make her feel secure to know you're being honest. You need to approach the group leader and state what she did. She is making people uncomfortable and doing inappropriate things in what should be a safe setting for everyone. Report her and tell your wife. Honesty is best policy. Tell her you plan on reporting her. Let her be there for you. You're a great husband and dad, and I am wishing you the best. A good rule of thumb is if you have to ask, you probably do. Tell your wife. And if she misunderstands, then that is her fault, lol. When you talk to your wife about this, say something along the lines that you think this woman is funny as hell for thinking she was good enough for you after you had your wife. She's not even close to being attractive to you. I'd tell her and tell her your reaction. And that you're looking for a new place to do a mom's group. It's really sad that this woman did this. You should definitely tell your wife. Tell her and then record her beating that woman's ass. I would be absolutely livid at the other woman. Not my husband if he told me. Depends on the nature of the relationship between this friend group and you and your wife. If this is entirely your group, just end it. If there is some social overlap, disclose. How about no and don't ever mention it again? Why do people feel like virtue signaling is the same as honesty? Do the right thing and make your wife feel wonderful. Thanks. Don't mention it. If she's having a rough time mentally, it may make her spiral and paranoid about you being around any mom groups. Just find another group, and avoid the previous one. Yes, you tell her, including what you are doing to distance yourself from this woman. You can approach your wife in a light-hearted, joking manner about it. For instance, you can say, "Babe, you won't believe what this insane lady said in our playgroup. She offered me her number and I told her no thank you, I have a beautiful wife at home. I'm good. So now I have to find a new playgroup." And give her lots of affection. I would feel reassured if my BF did that.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.